the T20 was a bit of a surprise. I remember sitting with the judging panel that, the T20 award was actually a highly contested one. I'm sure you must be pleased that you actually won it against the likes of Temba and Quinton de Kock, guys who had a fairly good season.
Yeah, very happy. Yeah, like I said, it came as a bit of a surprise. I'd seen, the way Temba had performed with the bat and with Quinny as well. And also, just recently become a captain. So I knew that obviously it was a very well contested category, but yeah, there were a few performances that I put in there that I was very proud of. Bowling in certain situations where we probably weren't expected to win the game from there, and then putting us in a better position to actually win those games. So when I actually sat by myself and actually thought about the performances that I'd put in, eventually it starts to come back to you, like, what, actually maybe you did deserve it.
Yeah, no, congratulations once again. Shafiq,
Thank
you
you.
take the first one.
Lungi, congratulations. You've been working with Charles Langeveld now for the last few months. You've been bowling at the death quite a bit, and we've seen a lot of slower balls and variations. Just a word on how it's been with Charles Langeveld at the helm of the bowlers, and just a word on your relationship with him.
I've got a very good relationship with Charles. Since I think when he was bowling coach before, even before Otis came, he was still part of the Proteas. I was also part of the team then. And one thing he had told me then is, you got to make sure your level of skill is something that's always, on the top level or at the highest point. And, I've always kept that with me. I know that there are some guys that bowl quicker than me, so I know that I can produce other different skills at certain stages of the game. But to go back to how the relationship is, it's a very good relationship. He's very supportive of the way I think as a bowler. He would always rather encourage you to do what you do best first before, letting him take over and pretty much dictate to you what you need to do. So I think we work very well in that sense, that it's always opinion based. He's never telling me what to do, but his opinion is always available if you need it.
Telford, you can go for this one.
Well done. The world has changed so much since you were last on the field, and we've had a pandemic, we've had Black Lives Matter, we've had all sorts of things happening and just be taking over the whole conversation space. And I wondered, with regards to the Black Lives Matter situation, I know you and your teammates have been talking to each other. Has that been a topic of conversation? And will it become bigger? And might we see South African players or the whole team taking a knee during national anthems, things like that?
I think that's definitely something that would be discussed once we're in person. Yeah, we have spoken about it, and everyone's well aware of what's going on. Yeah, it's a difficult one because I feel, we're not together, so it's hard to discuss. But I definitely think once we get back to playing, that is definitely something we have to address as a team. As a nation as well, we have a past that is also very difficult in terms of, racial discrimination and things like that. So it's definitely something that we will be addressing, I believe, as a team. And if we're not, obviously it's something that I would bring up, that it's something that we need to take very seriously and, like the rest of the world is doing, make a stand.
Right. Tinas?
Lungi, I was wondering if you could tell us a bit about all the protocols that you guys have to follow now at training. I know you have to wear masks and you're not allowed to touch any of the other players' balls, and each one has their own balls, and you have hand sanitizers everywhere. So maybe if you could just tell us a bit of the challenges with all the protocols and how you found it.
It is a bit difficult, and it's different. We basically have to book sessions now. So, there's certain groups of guys that will come in at a certain time, and then when they're done, another group comes in. So I don't think we're exceeding numbers of about 5 at the moment. And then as the bowlers, we each have our own net. We each have our own balls. Yeah, there's pretty much no touching, hardly any communication as well. Before going to gym, you have to let them know so they can sanitize the area before you come in and sanitize once you leave for the next group. So there's a whole lot of things that you have to remember as well. We have to test regularly now if we're coming in for training. So yeah, you know, there's temperatures at the gates, there's hand sanitizers, we fill out forms. It's a whole process before you can actually bowl a cricket ball. So it is very frustrating, but it's also very necessary at this point. And especially with us coming up with the 3TC game, I think next week. So even though it is a bit of a schlep and it's a lot of hard work, we still need to do it because, I mean, we got a game to play next week.
Zahir, you can have a go.
Lungi, nice shirt you're wearing there. Just on the on your you're speaking about it, like all these things that you need to do. Mark Wood from England, he referred to their environment a bit like a sci-fi movie. Is that how you feel that this is like completely out of the ordinary? Like I am actually in a movie right now.
Yeah, it does feel like it. I mean, it feels like some biohazard kind of event has happened because, you know, there's no touching. You barely ever take your mask off other than when, you know, you're within a certain distance of people. Yeah, the filling out of forms, the booking, it's a mess, to be honest with you. But it's very necessary because obviously it's a very serious pandemic at the moment, and you know, I don't believe COVID is something we need to take lightly. So it does feel like something out of a movie because the safety precautions that are being taken, it's something that you've never experienced before as a player. Usually you just rock up, you know, even in the change rooms, we no longer go into the change room. You know, you get changed in your car and you go straight to the field or you go straight to the indoor nets. You know, we don't gather in groups anymore. So, and it feels weird since it's a team sport. So it's like you're playing by yourself, but everyone's still there. So it is very different.
Lungi, just on that, it sounds a bit like club cricket changing in the car, but what about the ball in regards to shining it and the saliva and those issues? Have you had a chat with KG and the boys, just how are you guys actually gonna make it swing?
We haven't discussed it yet because obviously I think the first thing we're coming back to is white ball cricket, and I'm well aware that it only swings for like the first 3 or 4 overs anyway, and then you got to take it from there. But it is something that we're definitely thinking about. You know, a few of the boys have complained, I know, because, you know, once they said that there's no, you know, saliva on the ball, a few of the batsmen posted on the group, you know, now they're going to be driving on the up. And so you see, already we can see what type of mentality the batsmen are coming with. So now we got to find the game plan of how to, you know, get the ball to swing. Maybe, probably not a damp towel is the best thing, but you got to find it somehow to shine it. So yeah, I think we got to be thinking of a new way of that very, very, very quickly as well.
Nazri?
Lungi, well done. You spoke about the new 3TC cricket that's coming up in a few weeks. Have you got your head around it? Have the guys spoken about the new rules and how that's going to work? And just getting back on the park again?
Yeah, they've posted the rules on the CSA Awards, so I saw those, and from what they explained to us, it is going to be very different. Even to this point now, I still don't fully understand exactly, you know, what's going on, but I know that it is going to be a different type of game, and you know, with only having a maximum of, I think, about 6 overs in the game, I think by knowing already how much I need to bowl, I can plan and strategize accordingly. But now we don't know who's going to bat first and who's going to be in the dugout first, so your game plans change there. But it is still a bit confusing, but with everything that they've told us and they've explained, I'm looking forward to seeing how it's actually going to play out once we're on the field.
All right, members of the media, just one last one. Any further questions for Lungi?
Can I possibly pursue?
Yeah, Percy, please feel free, man. And Zahir.
Lungi, firstly, thank you so much. Lungi, firstly, congratulations from my side as well, sir. Lungi, I just want to ask you, Wednesday's test match, and I know you guys obviously want to focus on yourself, South Africans as Proteas, but the first test between England and the West Indies, how important will that match will be for you guys to see what the climate is like and how things are being done now in this new environment?
That's going to be perfect. I'm actually glad that someone else is playing before we did, so we can actually see how everything is going to go about. You know, it is going to be a different type of cricket now. So, you know, obviously the basics of the game still apply, you know, obviously batting and bowling, all that stuff. But just to see how everyone's going to be handled off the field and, you know, how interaction is going to work with, you know, camera staff and all those guys. I think it's going to be very interesting to see and to at least show us, if not give us a blueprint of what to do in South Africa to get our cricket going again. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's sitting at home rearing to play. And yeah, so I just think it would be really good to see how everything is going to be run as a whole, and maybe even give us a better image of how to do it here.
Yeah. Zahir, you'll take the last one.
Lungi, obviously, you done very well to pick up the T20 and the ODI awards, but you missed the entire Test season. And so, how much do you want that place back in the Test side, or is that something that you actually want back and push towards?
To be honest with you, I was actually very disappointed that I didn't get an opportunity to play a lot of Test cricket in the season. I feel, you know, that could have probably put me in a better position to compete for all awards. But yeah, the Test spot is definitely something I want back, having been there and, you know, knowing how to go about my cricket there and, you know, having improved my skills and my mental side in terms of how to bowl in Test cricket. You know, it's something that I always strive to. I strive to play for all three formats, and that's always my goal. You know, one of the things, you want to be the best at everything you do, and that's one thing that I want to do. And that's a personal goal for me. So the Test team is definitely something I'm striving for in the next season.
Ken, we've got 2 minutes, so you'll take the last one.
Thanks, KK. Lungi, just following up on that question. First of all, just what do you feel has been the greatest progress you've made as a bowler, just in terms of white ball cricket, where you've obviously played more and done exceptionally well? And then just going back to the Test side, obviously injuries and that have meant you haven't played a lot of Test cricket. There were also sort of conditioning issues last season. Do you feel like lockdown has really allowed you now to give yourself a really good base conditioning wise heading into the new season? Do you feel like your body is really well honed now for Test cricket for the longest version?
Yeah, you know, definitely. You know, the only thing I had to do was continue with the work that we had started before already. That was the main thing, just to be consistent in, you know, all the training and eating and all the stuff that you need to do. It's not doing anything extraordinary, to be honest. It was just being consistent with what you have to do. And for me, I think going forward now, I feel I'm in a better position. The one thing that did help me in my white ball cricket, I think, was being a sort of an impact player. You know, if you bought on, you need to take wickets, take wickets. If you need to defend runs, defend runs. Being versatile in that as well, being able to bowl at any situation. So that has given me a lot of confidence now moving forward into the next season. Obviously with Test cricket, it's a bit more different. You know, got to be a lot more patient. But I feel with the conditioning block that I've done, you know, that's you know, the injuries and all that stuff. For me now, it's at the back of my mind. You know, it's not something that dwells on my mind regularly like it probably did before. And you know, growing up as well now within the international scene, I've realized things happen, and if I do happen to get injured again, well, so be it. You know, I've just got to come back from that injury again and put in performances that I'm expected to.
All right, members of the media, thank you so much for your time and joining us for this press conference. Thanks to you, Lungi, and everything of the best for the upcoming season. Thank you very much, guys, and the audio will be available on CSA platform. Take care.
Thank you. Cheers.
Don't close anyone.